Look at these two people. Same gym, same workout plan, same nutrition, same sleep schedule. 6 months later, one person looks like they stepped out of a superhero movie. The other, barely any change. And here's what completely blew my mind when I dove into the research. This is almost nothing to do with how hard they trained. This is about something written into their cells before they were even born. Your body is running code, genetic code, and some people hit the jackpot without even knowing it. But before you quit the gym forever, there's actually something you can do about this. And the solution? It's way more interesting than you think. So, I started digging through every study I could find on muscle genetics, and what I discovered is actually wild. In study after study, scientists found that some people gain up to 50% more muscle than others doing the exact same training program. It all comes down to your DNA. And there are specific genes that basically determine whether you're playing on easy mode or legendary difficulty. Let me show you the big ones. First up, a CTN3. Scientists call this the speed gene. This gene controls your fast twitch muscle fibers, the ones that grow big and generate explosive power. Here's the crazy part. About 18% of people are completely missing this gene. If you have 2 working copies, one from each parent, your muscles are literally built for power and size. If both copies are missing, your body is wired differently from the start. Almost every elite sprinter and power athlete has at least one copy, and this is just the beginning. The second gene is called myostatin. This is your body's muscle limiter. Myostatin is a protein that tells your muscles, okay, that's enough, stop growing. Think of it like a governor on a car engine. It caps your potential. Some cows have a genetic mutation that turns off might completely. And look at the results. They're absolutely jacked, like cartoon-level muscular. Now, most of us don't have that mutation, but here's what researchers found. The amount of myostatin your body naturally produces varies by up to 300% from person to person. So, if you're on the high end, your body is constantly slamming the brakes on muscle growth. If you're on the low end, you're in muscle-building beast mode and you didn't even know it. And myostatin is just one factor. You've also got satellite cells, testosterone receptor sensitivity, and that's before we even start talking about bone structure, tendon attachment points, and limb length ratios. Basically, building muscle is like a video game where everyone got randomly assigned different starting stats. Some people rolled a good stats, some people didn't. So here's my question. Are you team easy mode or team legendary difficulty? Let me know in the comments. Let's see what most people here are dealing with. And look, if you're watching this thinking, great, so I lost the genetic lottery and I'm screwed. I totally understand that feeling, but here's the truth that changed everything for me when I learned about this research. Genetics loads the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger, because there's this whole other layer to genetics called epigenetics. And this is where things get really hopeful. Your genes aren't just fixed code that you're stuck with forever. They have switches, and what you do, how you train, what you eat, how you sleep, can actually flip those switches on and off. Studies show that resistance training literally changes which genes are active in your muscles. You start producing different proteins, activating different pathways. You're reprogramming your biology at the cellular level. Remember myostatin, that muscle brake I mentioned? Resistance training actually reduces myostatin signaling. You're working around your genetics. So even if you were born with high myostatin, you can turn down the breakthrough training. I dove deep into the research on what actually works if you're not genetically gifted. And 3 things came up over and over. Number 1, progressive overload. But you have to be smarter about it. If you're a low responder, your muscles need a reason to grow. They won't just grow from showing up. That means actually tracking your lifts, adding weight or reps every single week, making your muscles genuinely struggle. Number 2, protein timing and amount. High responders can be kind of lazy with nutrition and still grow. Low responders, you need to optimize everything. Research shows that getting around 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight spread throughout the day maximizes muscle protein synthesis, even if you're genetically disadvantaged. And number 3, this one is absolutely critical. Sleep and recovery. Turns out growth hormone and testosterone, the hormones that drive muscle growth, are primarily released during deep sleep. The studies are clear. 7 to 10 hours non-negotiable if you want to maximize your genetic potential. But here's what I think is the most important takeaway from all this research. Comparing yourself to someone with completely different genetics is like comparing your Honda to someone's Ferrari and getting mad that they accelerate faster. You have a different vehicle. That doesn't mean you can't reach your now. Let's get into something even more fascinating. What happens when you start making deliberate changes to your routine? You see, the truth is that while some people might be naturally blessed with better muscle-building genetics, there are always ways to level the playing field, and that's where epigenetics truly comes into play. What is epigenetics? In simple terms, it's the study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression rather than alteration of the genetic code itself. Think of it as a switchboard for your DNA. Just because you were born with a certain genetic setup doesn't mean you're locked into it. Your lifestyle choices can influence the way your genes express themselves, and it's in your hands to turn on the muscle-building genes. Let me give you an example. You might not have the best version of the muscle-building genes, but you can still take control. The trick is to optimize your lifestyle. Sure, your starting point might be different, but with the right tools, you can still make significant progress. It's like learning to play a game where the rules seem stacked against you, but with strategy, patience, and persistence, you can still win. So, let's break it down further. For instance, sleep is one of the most underrated components of muscle growth. We all know it's important for recovery, but the role sleep plays in muscle building is even more profound. When you sleep, your body isn't just resting, it's actively repairing and growing muscle tissue. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone and testosterone, both critical for muscle development. In fact, growth hormone is so essential that it has been referred to as the fountain of youth for muscle recovery. But here's the thing, most people aren't prioritizing sleep. They're burning the candle at both ends, thinking that more gym time will make up for it. But that's not how it works. If you're not getting 7-9 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep, you're essentially throwing away the work you've put in at the gym. Let's talk a little more about progressive overload. Many beginners think they need to dramatically increase their weights week over week, but it's not just about lifting heavy. It's about creating consistent incremental challenges for your muscles. This can be done not only by adding weight, but also by adjusting the number of reps or sets you perform. The goal is to push your muscles to adapt, forcing them to grow. For low responders, this is where the magic happens. Your body isn't going to just respond by itself, it needs to be pushed hard enough to signal the need for adaptation. That's why keeping track of your progress is crucial. Every lift should feel like a battle between you and your body. If you're not feeling that struggle, you're not pushing hard enough. Also, let's dive deeper into nutrition. Protein timing, while often overlooked, can make a huge difference in how effectively your body builds muscle. Instead of loading up on all your protein in one big meal, spread it out. By consuming protein evenly throughout the day, your body has a constant supply of amino acids to build muscle. This keeps your muscle protein synthesis rate high and consistent, especially when paired with resistance training. The protein needs vary depending on your training and genetic potential, but no matter where you fall on the spectrum, it's clear that protein is a non-negotiable aspect of muscle growth. For a high responder, a couple of protein shakes and some lean meat may suffice. But for someone with genetically low muscle building potential, you need to eat more protein consistently throughout the day. The other element that can help shift your progress is how you work around your genetics. Let's go back to that myostatin gene. While you can't completely turn off your body's natural myostatin production without drastic genetic modifications, you can manipulate it through exercise. The more intense your training, the more you activate pathways that suppress myostatin. So even if you have a high baseline of myostatin in your body, you can reduce its effects by pushing your body to the limit, regularly. Then there's the role of stress management. Excessive cortisol, a stress hormone, can wreak havoc on your body, preventing optimal muscle growth and recovery. If your body is in a constant state of fight or flight, it's harder to recover and build muscle. So finding ways to reduce stress through techniques like meditation, yoga, or even just making sure you take time for yourself is also part of optimizing your muscle building potential. And finally, let's talk about mindset. The most important thing you need to build muscle, regardless of your genetic starting point, is persistence. You might look at someone else's progress and think it's impossible for you to reach that level, but that's the wrong perspective. If you compare yourself to others, you're forgetting that everyone has a different story and a different set of challenges. Muscle building isn't a race against anyone else, it's a journey you take with yourself. If you keep showing up, keep putting in the work, and stay consistent, the results will come. Whether your progress is faster or slower than someone else's, the key is that you're improving. Now, take a moment to reflect on this. If you're committed to doing everything right, optimizing your nutrition, training, and sleep, you're giving yourself the best shot at maximizing your potential. Genetics are part of the equation, but they are far from the only factor. When you think about muscle building, don't just think of it as a physical challenge. It's a mental one, too. It's about setting goals, pushing through discomfort, and knowing that with the right effort, you can make it to where you want to be. Whether you're starting with a Honda or a Ferrari, it doesn't matter. What matters is the direction you're going in and how you're driving the vehicle you've got. Keep your eyes on the road, trust the process, and keep improving. So, now when you look at yourself in the mirror or feel frustrated with your progress, just remember, you're playing the long game. And no matter where you started, the most important thing is that you're not giving up. Because that's when the real muscle building magic happens. Destination: